Hey there, everyone. It's Monday, November 24th. The avocado is the world's fattiest fruit. I'm Russ,
I'm Eric.
and this is Context Not Found. The holiday of the day is Teacher's Day in Turkey. This day in history. On the Origin of Species was published by Charles Darwin in 1859. Our first topic, our mini topic of the week, will be writing utensils. So, I was out for
I prefer the name writing implement.
Yes, quite. Indubitably. So,
Utensil makes me think more of like eating utensil, like forks and knives.
yeah, fair enough.
But
Which can be used to write. What's the quote?
unless you're writing
Who
in
writes
blood.
yeah, I was about to say, there's a quote from, I think it's Babylon 5. Who writes a message in their own blood? Someone in dire need of a pen. But,
Anywho,
yeah, on the subject of pens, I was walking out on my morning walk this morning, and I found a Pilot G205, which is O2 less than my preferred pen type, but I now have a preferred pen type nonetheless. The Pilot G207, for those who are bad at math. What's your preferred pen type?
quick, let me pull it out of my pocket.
Everyone should always carry pocket pens.
Yes, the Uniball Vision Micro.
And what's special about that?
I like how it, has a fine tip, but not super fine, and yet still writes heavily and doesn't smear and doesn't fade.
Okay.
It's a nice kind of sharp, crisp pen
Yeah.
that I like writing with.
My father prefers Uniballs because when they're dead, they're dead. There's none of this wishy-washy, like, half dead sort of thing, or like they're running out of ink.
And the nice thing is it writes. I did have one of these pens die on me, and it actually kind of, when it died, it died. It wasn't
dead.
it went
He's
from
dead, Jim.
it went from writing nice and like sharp and heavy to like nothing in the matter of a sentence. So it's like, okay.
Disclaimer, we're not getting paid by Pilot or Uniball to plug their products. We just like them, so we're doing this out of the kindness of our heart because you should all buy their products. Specifically the G2.
Now, if they want to give us a little bit of a kickback in the form of sponsorship, we wouldn't argue.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. I was going to say, for all 5 of my subscribers that are listening to this, but earlier this week, I did manage to pick up another subscriber. You know what this calls for?
Ooh! Celebratory gunfire!
Celebratory gunfire! Well, that was fun.
Yes, it was.
So,
I love how you pull those out of your desk.
I always have celebratory gunfire noisemakers in my desk. But what I like about the Pilot G207 is that the point is just thick enough that it leaves a nice heavy line, but like fine enough that it doesn't like clip into itself, if you will. Because I find that ones that are sharper than that, like the O5, tend to slice into the paper a little too much.
Yeah, sometimes they kind of like scrape a little bit and they dig.
Although, you mentioned you like Uniballs because when they're dead, they're dead.
That is a plus, but I do like the way they write more than anything.
I mean, how they write is the most important, and I think the second most important thing is how they feel. Which I like about the Pilots is that they have the nice rubber grip that's like not squishy, but it grabs well, and they have the click top. Because I hate losing my pen caps.
Yeah, I don't know. The one that I use doesn't actually have a grip, yet it's still, I don't know, something about it. I still like the way it like holds. It's a bit thicker. It doesn't go down to like that fine.
Oh yeah, where you like get the little divot in your finger.
It's just it works for me.
Yeah.
I like it. So.
Also, the thing with the Pilot clips is I've never had a clip break off of them.
Oh.
Or bend.
The other thing I like about this one is the fact that it has a cap. I don't know why. I like caps better because it's like you don't accidentally like push the button in the little clicky thing in your pocket
and then you draw all over the inside of your pants.
Yeah.
That is the one disadvantage to the clicker. But I hate trying to keep track of the caps. If the cap slides on the end, that works well though.
I mean, and the thing about this one is it clips on. It
grabs.
It's a nice click. So
there's us demonstrating our pen sound effects for the day.
But I mean, I like it because the cap does stay on, and you don't have to really worry about it coming off. And when I'm using it, I just put it on the end, and it's always there.
Yeah.
So it's not really that big of an issue, and it's an effective. I like the pen style. Overall, the pen is like an effective pen. It excels in all the areas that a pen should.
We are such engineers about this.
We are.
Another thing I just noticed about the pilots that I like is that they have the clear body, so you can sort of see when you're running low on ink.
I can actually.
I mean, you do have a window on that one, right?
I do have a window, and I can actually see where. Oh my desktop. So yeah, it's like I can actually like tell, when my pens are dying, kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
So
rule of thumb.
yeah, it gives you kind of get an idea, and I have had a pen die on me before, so I know about the time frame that for my average use the pen will probably last. So,
Well, this brings up my idea of the indicator pen that you wouldn't like, but I would, and I could respect it as it. My idea is that you have a pen with black ink, except those last few milliliters of ink are red. So when your pen goes to red ink, you know it's about to die and it's time to get a new pen. And I think we need that.
I
get it.
I mean, I don't like that idea. I like the idea that it does give you a indicator ahead of time that your pen is about to die. However, I don't like the form of indicator, because if I'm using a black pen, I want it to be a black pen. I don't want it to suddenly change to red on me halfway through my notes or whatever I happen to be writing.
What if it's blue?
Still no, because I don't like.
You don't want the color to switch.
Well, no, it's the black to blue is not a heavy switch, and it would be a better option than the red.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's also not as distracting, which is the whole point of having the red, because it's like, ooh, it's your check engine light coming on.
Yes,
or your low fuel indicator light, more accurately.
Yeah, but I mean, I still don't like the color blue either.
Check engine light.
Some people like blue pens. Some people like black pens. I like black pens.
No one likes green pens. Whoever decided to make green pens needs to be taken out behind the woodshed and slapped around a little.
Okay, I thought you were going like a different direction with that, but
I don't think
keeping it.
I don't think having the wrong color ink in your pen should be a capital punishment. I mean, there's a quote from one of the prefaces.
FYI, Black Pen Master Race.
Pen racist. But I was so going to say, right, there's a foreword at the beginning of the Darwin Awards that says something along the lines of only one crime should be punished by capital punishment: stupidity, and that's self-serving.
Yes. Although it's getting harder and harder.
Stupid free healthcare. Thanks, Obama.
I was gonna say, we engineers have to design for the stupid. So
if you make something idiot-proof, they'll only build a better idiot.
Yes. So it's like,
because nothing will ever stop a truly determined idiot.
So like the casual idiot is not going to most of the
casual
time,
idiot versus what? PC gaming master idiot.
Hey. Like, you will develop such a flame more with that one. But anyways, besides the point. No.
Casual idiot versus hardcore idiot.
Yeah, I mean, like, a casual idiot is most likely not going to get hurt by something that was, like, engineered and designed well, because it has adequate, like, safety built in.
The casual idiot, or the determined idiot, can't be trusted with anything sharper than a crayon.
Yes, because the determined idiot will, like, find a way to, like, purposely, like, circumvent every, like, safety measure put in there and like, hurt themselves.
It sounds like there's no difference between a determined idiot and an engineer. Because the engineer will always find the workarounds for the safeties as well. It's just that, we'll try to be safe about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like the two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Same path, different goal.
I mean, on one end of the spectrum, you have the engineer, and then, the other end of the spectrum, you have the super idiot. And it's like they have similar goals and they have similar determinations, except one is rather safe and one's just absolutely stupid.
Well, set a thief to catch a thief. if a determined idiot thinks like an engineer, you need an engineer to design something that's idiot-proof.
I really wish I had come. I wish I knew we were going to discuss this topic because I would have come prepared with an example. But there were times when I would look at something and I'd be like, I wonder what would happen if I did this.
And that's why the elevator doesn't work anymore, Sheldon.
Have you ever... I remember what the example was that I was thinking of. You know those milkshake makers that a lot of gas stations and things have nowadays? Like the for real, for real ones? Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, I wonder what happens if I press the button without actually putting something in it. Is it intelligent enough to realize that there's nothing in it and go back down, or will it just run through its cycle?
Well, all the cycle does is, like, raise the cup up and mix it a little.
Yeah, so I mean...
You're like running an egg beater with nothing in it.
Exactly. So, I mean, it would not be detrimental to the machine, I imagine, but...
There may be a weight sensor, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It might actually know by the amount of torque on the motor. Because I mean, the heavier the load you put on the motor,
I think we're over designing this again.
Yeah, I mean, the heavier the load you put on the motor, the more current it's going to draw. So it's like, you can probably easily tell how much of a load you have on there and whether or not there's anything present based on that.
Speaking of motors and loads and current, that segues us nicely into the nerd joke of the week. So, a superconductor walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "We don't serve your kind around here." And the superconductor doesn't offer any resistance.
That
was weak.
I still got a kick out of it.
Yeah. I mean, all of my jokes are going to be groan-worthy. This is just a sad fact, but... foreign phrase of the week, pardon my French, merde de terreau. If you think you know what that means, leave it in the comments. Last week's foreign phrase of the week was written on a separate piece of paper. Eric, fill for time.
Oh, right, because I didn't know what you were doing with
No. There was a bitte nageln Sie Mitarbeiter mit der Gabelstapler fest, which is please don't impale your co-workers with a forklift. But then I jumped to the next one, which was Tvoj soft govno, and I gave you the hint that if you're running Mac OS, that's certainly true. If anyone's seen Iron Man 2, they may recognize that quote as Mickey Rourke saying in Russian, "Your software is shit."
Ah. I liked that scene. I liked it. Anyways,
yes.
Next topic.
Yeah, on the subject of software shit, copyright law and digital media.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay, so
yes.
Story to segue into this first.
Because when we were discussing future topics for this podcast, a few days ago, and we kind of dragged ourselves into a debate on this already.
Well,
and we had to kind of stop ourselves and say, no, let's save it for the podcast.
Well, here's the story. So on Wednesday, I'm on my Google account, and I noticed that I can get pure heroin for free. This being the Lord album, not the actual drug. I've already got a guy for that. But yeah, I noticed I can get pure heroin for free on Google Play. So it's like, oh, cool. I'm totally picking this up because that's the album I'll put on in the background and write to sometimes. The only problem is that I needed to enter a credit card number to get a free album. Now, this makes no sense to me, but, well, I can see why they would do it, but it bothers me nonetheless. And there's actually a quote from, I believe it's Gabe Newell from, Gabe Newell's Valve, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. A quote from him says, "Most pirates are just dissatisfied consumers." And taking that into account, it is almost certainly true, because I would obtain pure heroin legally, but I need to enter a credit card number, which I really don't feel like doing, even though I get it for free in the end either way.
It's like, why do I have to give you a credit card number for something that's supposed to be free?
Yeah.
It's like you should have absolutely no need for it whatsoever, and it makes me very suspicious of you.
Well, it's because you need an account to download these things, and...
I do have an account.
Well,
I signed in with it.
You need a money account.
And it's like, why? It's still... It's one of those things where it's like it makes me very suspicious of you. It makes me wonder, is something gonna show up on my like account statement 2 weeks later that I got like charged for
the
something?
tax on a free album.
Yeah, it's like like I said, it makes me very suspicious, and I
Actually,
really...
it'd be a tariff because I'm importing that from New Zealand, aren't I?
Oh, could you imagine?
Lord is from New Zealand.
Could you imagine if there was a tariff on like
foreign music?
No, I was gonna
Man,
say
the British invasion would have never happened.
I was gonna say, could you imagine if there was like a tariff on digital media that was like distributed over the internet from a foreign country?
Well,
like
today's
similar
connected
to
world, like everything is done in various places. Like
yeah, so I mean, like similar to like if you were to buy like a physical item and have it shipped over to the U.S., you're gonna probably
import tariffs.
face import taxes and stuff. And I was thinking, what if you had like the same thing for like, digital information that you're transmitting? I'd be like, damn, I'd be racking up such a bill. What do you want?
European copyright law versus U.S. You wanted to talk about?
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna go a little bit deeper into this topic, but I think we
Yeah.
kind of like.
Well, no, this is the same topic about digital media.
Okay, I mean it's related.
Because I think the U.S. I'm no expert on the subject, but I think the U.S. tends to be a little more archaic and draconian about these things, whereas the European copyright law for digital media is a lot looser. Because, like,
you see, the it's not that they're necessary. I mean, okay, they're looser, but they're not.
It's more progressive and like it understands the times. That's
It's
what I
like-
meant to say.
Yeah, it's like they understand where it's like, okay, the times are changing, and we ought to like
Bob Dylan.
Shut up. The time.
Couldn't help myself.
The times are changing, yet we really ought to just stay ahead of the times and like stay ahead of everything to like stay competitive, rather than like try and cling desperately to until the last minute, like of like the old stuff.
Yeah, with just technology and especially law in general, you have to get ahead of the technology curve, and if you can, try to be an innovator in that, rather than trying to stay behind and insisting that everyone stay shackled to you and your archaic ways, because inevitably, if you try to shackle everyone to your ideas while the rest of the world's advancing, someone will inevitably build a lockpick, escape, and free everyone else, and then you're just going to be stuck in the past.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Blockbuster versus Netflix, because that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, that's a very good. I like that analogy. Like,
And
Blockbuster tried desperately to cling on to the old movie rentals, but as soon as like people started to discover Netflix, they all flocked there because various reasons. They just generally found it better in a lot of regards. So Blockbuster actually did eventually Blockbuster did try to catch up. They developed their own streaming service for movies online, but they were already behind the game at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like if you had jumped on it ahead of time, you could have been a potential competitor, but you were too late to the game. You were not flexible enough, and you did not, you kind of shot yourself in the foot by shackling yourself to the dead weight that was classic video rentals.
And if you're going to shackle everyone to you, better invest in some good shackles, which Blockbuster failed to do.
Yeah.
Or Netflix ran by with bolt cutters, and I feel this analogy is a little strained, but with Netflix and movie rental stuff. What I always wanted is, I want something where I can, like, with good old days of analog, you could buy a VHS tape and, like, you owned it. And even with digital, you buy a CD and you own that now. And however, with digital media, it's a lot harder to do. Like, for songs and music, you can still download things on iTunes, or presumably there are other ways. Presumably there are other legal ways, and like you own that in MP3 form, and even if your cloud server crashes, if it's saved to your hard drive, you've still got a copy of that.
Now,
I haven't found a version of that for movies.
Yeah, now here's a question that I think needs, before we can like move forward with before we can move forward with any kind of like further development or legislation in regards to digital media, I think we really have to address the question of when you buy something, what are you actually buying? Are you buying,
The physical copy.
are you buying that, physical copy of that digital information, or are you buying like the rights to view that digital information? So like I'll use the example of buying a DVD, and it's like I can
What movie?
just general example. All right,
I know.
I don't know.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's go with that.
All right, fine. Since we were gonna watch that tonight, but didn't get the chance to. But anyways, it's like when buying a DVD. It's like, okay, when I buy a DVD, I'm not buying the DVD for the physical media DVD. If I wanted to buy a DVD for that purpose, I could just go out and buy like a blank DVD. What I'm
For
buying,
cheaper.
yeah, when I'm buying a movie on a DVD, what I'm paying for is the information that's contained on the DVD. So it's like, okay. So I think what we have to do is there has to be this, you have to kind of answer the question, okay, I think we all agree that we're, buying, the actual information that's stored on it. Now, is that information necessarily, limited to the specific copy of it that's, kept on that disc? I'm not sure, because it's like there's digital copies, there's like online copies, there's all sorts of different copies of the same thing. So when you buy it, are you buying like that specific copy of it, or are you buying simply like the rights to view the information, and here's the copy that you can view here?
You were telling me about in the UK, if you buy like a DVD of something, it's legal to rip a MP4 or whatever, right?
Yes, as long as you're not,
because you purchase it, and you're not distributing it for commercial purposes.
Yeah, as long as you're not sharing, you can
for your own purposes.
Yeah, if you can make a copy of it a digital copy of it for yourself, as long as you're not sharing or distributing it. So, for example, you can keep like a copy of your DVD collection on your home media server.
It seems like in Europe you buy the rights, whereas in America you buy the
physical media.
Yeah,
you're buying the physical medium and that specific copy that's on it, and you can only use it using that physical copy. In Europe, you're actually paying more for the rights.
Yeah.
So, which I personally agree with that statement more, or that philosophy more.
Because I don't want to buy a DVD. I want to buy the
movie.
Yeah. And
really, physical media is, I think, gonna go the way of the dinosaurs completely eventually at some point. So it's like I want. Naturally, I'm going to want to be able to continue to watch my movie beyond the 20-year lifespan of the physical media itself. So what happens, like for example, VHSs, what happens when I want to watch my old VHS tape that I have of something? And it's, how do I watch it now? I'm going to have to go online and probably get a digital copy somewhere, because there's nothing out there now that like
to the bay
play old VHS tapes. It's like, do I have to go out and buy another copy of the movie that I already own to watch it, simply because the medium in which I bought it is now out of date?
Get a VHS emulator. Actually, to play devil's advocate for the file sharing community for a moment, let's get back to music, because that
was our initial topic.
Yeah, that's what most of this comes down to.
Well, I mean, I feel like
maybe 50-50, but there's a lot of music.
I feel like
sharing.
No, I feel like there's definitely an overlap. I mean, the same arguments that are a plot, the same like
it's intellectual property in a digital form.
Yeah, exactly. So the same laws and like things that apply to, and the same arguments that apply to movies apply to music.
So the old saying goes, theft takes the original and the owner cannot has. File sharing makes a copy and the owner still has the original. So, when one pirates, they're not taking the media from the artist. Rather, what they are taking is the ability to sell them the media.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of analogous.
Let me finish my.
It's like an artist like trying to sell a piece of art, and like physical like painting, like with oils and canvas art. and someone runs into the shop with a camera, takes a picture of that art piece that they're trying to sell, and runs out.
Yeah, kind of.
That's kind of like what you're doing when you're doing that.
Yeah.
But anyways, continuing with your
Yes.
story.
So, let's say there's a band that releases an album that I'd like. Let's say Mumford and Sons for the sake of argument. I like the album, but I don't love it. So, in an idealized world where I can either purchase it legally and have it legally, or I can not purchase it and not have it, and those are the only two options, I'm not going to purchase it because I'd rather not have it than pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if piracy is the theft of the ability to sell me the album, but in the world where there is no piracy, there was also no ability to sell me the album, then nothing has been stolen, correct?
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with that. That's an interesting way to put it. I'm trying to think about that.
Again, hypothetical, but I'd only be stealing things I wouldn't pay for already, so nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah. So, I mean, personally, I always like to, acquire everything legally.
Yeah,
when I can. And here's actually
okay. If I'd be willing to pay for something, I pay for it.
Yeah. Here's actually an interesting question. What?
I'll break the law for things I want less than things I'm willing to.
Oh, sorry, I don't like.
That's a weird fallacy for you.
Do you ever? I had to stop there for a second because I'm like, I don't like the way that sounds in my head. Let me try and reword it quickly.
And now you're just talking to fill space.
Yes. Let me just say this.
Politicians and those filler words of theirs. So, do you have your thought yet?
No. Well, rewind a couple minutes. Well, what did you say just before that?
How, if piracy is the theft of the ability to sell me the album, if I wouldn't pay for the album legally, then
yes.
I haven't stolen anything by pirating it.
Yes, okay. So, what about this? The reason I won't buy something is probably because I don't like it enough to justify spending like $10, $15 on the album. So, what if you actually did...
Albums that you buying? That's an...
I mean,
you're buying in hard copy?
I mean, if you
okay, whatever.
If you go on Amazon, a full album of something's probably going to cost you like around $10.
Regardless of price, carry on.
But my point. That's not the point. But the point is, what? So there's only two options. Either I like it, a lot to the point where I feel okay with spending the $10, or I don't like it enough to justify spending anything at all. So what if you actually had this, where you, like, a varying, like, pay thing? It's like
subbable?
Like, here's here's a minimum. Like, the minimum cost for this album is, well, I don't know if that would necessarily work, but the idea was, what if there's, like, a minimum cost for the album? The minimum cost is $3, the recommended price is $6, and you can pay, a varying amount. You can pay the recommended price of, $6, or if you really don't want it that much, you can pay a lower price down to a minimum of like $3. Now, granted, I feel like most people would just pay $3, because most people are just going to be, even if they really do like the album, they're going to be inclined to just pay the minimum because it's available to them.
Well,
so I don't know.
I've never used Subbable or Patreon. However, from what I understand, it's like the artist, such as CGP Grey, for example, who uses Subbable, and I believe Patreon as well now. The artist and Zach Wiener from SMBC as well, or Zach Wienersmith. The artist makes what they create for free, so that way everyone can enjoy it. And if you enjoy it to the point that you want to support this art, you can actually give them money at Subbable, and it's however much you feel comfortable giving. It's almost like the Wikipedia donation campaign that you should totally donate money to, because if everyone donated $3 right now, it'd be over in 11 minutes, or however long they say.
Yeah, so...
Have you donated money to Wikipedia's fundraising campaign?
No, I haven't, actually.
I think I gave them a couple bucks.
Yeah. I do actually think
They've-
about. I see that. and
Wikipedia has saved my ass on enough papers that I feel inclined to pay for it.
No, and I agree.
Shag.
I have the no, I have the same sentiment towards it.
Sentiment.
I'm sorry. What did I
You
say?
said sediment. And it's like, here, Wikipedia, take my sludge.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go on.
Sorry. Yeah, I have that same feeling towards it, where it's like I really do like this service, and I think they really do a good job, and it is free to me, and I wouldn't mind supporting them by giving them a few bucks. It's just I've never had the opportunity yet to do so, because being a
Broke college student.
broke college student is not just like an internet meme. It's like it's a real thing.
Is
It's like
broke
I'm
college
a
student
broke.
actually a meme?
I
I think it's a combination of foul bachelor frog, lazy college senior, socially awkward penguin.
I mean, I don't know. Like people throw like broke college student around like they throw that term around.
That's
a
a
lot,
phrase.
like,
That's not a meme. That's a phrase.
it's like
That's like starving artist, man. But I think
the point being, they throw that phrase around a lot, and in just like a variety of basically whenever they don't want to pay for something, they say broke college student. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like 50% of the time, it's actually because like legitimately broke college student, where it's like I have trouble paying for food.
I had to go home yesterday because I was out of cash.
So yeah, so I don't. So I mean,
I did not
if
have to lie to the panhandler.
So it's like I appreciate the fact that it is offered free, so I can continue to use it. However, and I would like to donate if I could. So
Yes.
in the future, yes, I will potentially donate, but right now I unfortunately cannot.
I could actually see.
I'm hoping that other people are going. I'm hoping that other people are willing to, donate in the meantime to like keep them going until I get to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, now I can donate now, and then maybe they're. It's interesting. So basically, it's like some people donate now when they can, while others
Yeah,
can't,
I mean,
and then vice versa.
I
And
can-
hopefully, it'll switch.
I can see
and,
in the future that, not all art, obviously, but especially digital, like even ebooks, but especially music and webcomics and YouTube creators. I can see eventually all of that moving towards Subbable and Patreon and sort of voluntary subscription sites. That's the phrase.
yeah,
Because, I mean, you're not going to get rich doing that, but it'll pay your bills. As long as you're producing things that people think are worth money, which... Because that also, it's like pre-ordering games, where if you pre-order a game, they make their money back whether or not the game is crap. However, if it were a voluntary subscription for games, you'd have to make a good game, otherwise people don't want to pay you to cover the cost.
yeah.
So, and it also encourages riskier investment, or risky investments in games, because like a AAA game, the amount of money they shovel into making one of those, they have to make it as sort of safe as possible to guarantee as many sales to make their money back. However, if they made more niche games that people appeal to a smaller audience, but would bring in more, yeah. You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're going with that, and I actually find it kind of funny that they actually I find it surprising that they even shove as much money as they do into AAA games. It's like, how much money did you spend on making this game?
That was the shiniest pixel in the shop.
Yeah, it's like, did you really need to spend this much money to make it? It's crap. How did you spend so much money? How did this indie developer, like, who spent maybe like a few $1,000s?
That was
like,
the tutorial that they got with that.
yeah, it's like how did like an indie developer make a much better game than you did on and they only spent like maybe a few $1,000s, and
Because
you
they
spent
can do what they want
millions.
to. It's sort of like the Quentin
So-
Tarantino thing, where he can just sort of make whatever he wants and it'll make its money back, and they don't have to worry about making it safe.
Well, I feel like these big AAA companies have like millions and millions of dollars. I feel like they have a safe.
We can't afford to make the occasional risky investment. Shut up.
They have more of a safety net than the indie developer does in making his game. because
the
they
indie developer is also doing it because they want to. Like, I'm a writer, and I'm not writing to make a profit. I'm writing because I want to write.
yes, that is true. So I don't know. I feel like AAA game makers could actually like stand to make slightly riskier investments simply because they have their AAA games, which I feel like they have their AAA games, and first off, they don't need to be dumping nearly as much money into these games as they do, because I don't know how they dump so much money into it. It's like, where's all that money going? I don't know, but anyways, they could dump less money into that, still have their AAA game, and then use some of that extra money to like make slightly riskier investments in other games.
Sure. I mean, AAA gaming compared to the indie basement developer is... The AAA game is doing it as a career, and the basement developer presumably has another job that is actually making them the money that they survive off of. It's like career politicians, where most of your career is spent trying to keep your job as opposed to...
Yeah, so...
Because you gotta...
Yeah, I understand.
Career politics is a whole different can of worms that I really don't want to open on this, so I'm gonna call an end to this segment.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do news, shall we? Weather. Sorry. Weather. It's hot, and according...
Well, before we even go into that, well, since they can't see the hand gesture that I was
He's giving you the bring down the volume gesture.
Because I don't know why. You have this tendency to really like to scream. When you're talking to... When
I'm reading off the script, I scream, I know.
No, I mean, no.
Well, yes.
I was going to say... When you're doing the podcast, you feel like you're talking to an audience, and whenever you talk to an audience, you feel like you have to project, even though the mic, you don't have to
Sorry,
like, scream at the mic.
I was trained in how to present to an audience.
No, I use that, but you don't have to scream into the mic.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But anyways,
That aside. Weather. It's hot, and according to our reporter in the field, some like it that way. Sports. America has just annexed Toronto to finally put an end to the question, why do the Blue Jays play in the American League? I mean, it's not like America is a continent or anything, or two, but that's a discussion for another time. This week in science. 2 new subatomic particles were discovered at CERN.
Scientists found that language heard only in the womb leave traces in the brain.
Philae detected organic molecules on the surface of the comet.
The UK announced a crowdfunded mission to the moon.
Can I just say, like, whatever Kickstarter that is, send me the link and I will dump all of my money into it immediately. And lastly, a glowing predatory species of worm was discovered in Peru. Because, you didn't have enough nightmares already.
And that was This Week in Science.
Yes.
I am actually curious to, like actually go and Google half those things.
Well, that's the idea, is to make the audience curious enough to Google it themselves, although I may put a link in the description. Possibly. You know what? You're watching the video right now. Just scroll down and check, because I don't know yet. Oh, the internet's a magical thing. Topic 2, Reddit. So, to give some context, I am a Reddit user. I will not be giving out my Reddit name, though, because I like the anonymity of not cross-contaminating my internet contribution. And you are a Reddit lurker.
Yes, I am a lurker to the extent that it's like I view more than probably some users do, and I only lurk.
What do you lurk on?
Everything. I'd have to... See, this is the problem. I'd actually have to look and see, look at the list of all the subreddits and say, okay, I'd look at that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
I know you've at least looked at Birds with Arms, because I told you to look at it.
Yeah, that's not something I really lurk on. That was kind of like...
I know you lurk PC Master Race.
I lurk PC Master Race.
And you send me links from that I could not care less about.
Yeah. But yeah, PC Master Race, Earth Porn,
Everyone likes Earth Porn.
Yes.
That's one of the ones that you got auto-subscribed to when you sign up.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, that's where all of my desktop backgrounds come from, is the front page of Earth Porn.
Yeah, and what was the other one I was just about to say? Shit, I lost that list in my head that I had just developed.
List porn.
Oh, photo
Photoshop battles.
Photoshop battles.
That's another auto subscribe.
A couple of the news ones I'll look
Not
at.
the Onion.
No.
Not the Onion's an auto subscribe that I occasionally. I unsubscribed and then I resubscribed because I found the articles humorous and they helped break up the depressing actual news stories.
Yeah. So I mean, those are just a couple of the big name ones that I lurk on, but there are other ones that I'll like jump between on occasion.
The subreddits that I tend to hit up are Firefly, The Last Airbender, Vexillology, which is all about flags. I don't know if map porn is an auto-subscribe, but I like pictures of maps and stuff, as anyone who has watched some of my history videos can tell you. What else? Oh, and of course, mildly interesting in shower thoughts. I can get stuck in shower thoughts for like 20 pages before I realize I needed to be productive today.
Yeah, that's actually what I do with Photoshop.
The Reddit
battles.
hole is where 6 hours of my life goes every day.
Because with Photoshop battles, it's a lot of links.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll spend like 10 minutes on a single battle, just clicking all the links and like reading all of the comments associated with it.
Oh, Jesus, man. You're hardcore for a lurker.
Yeah.
Speaking of the links out, does anyone know if there's a setting that you can put Reddit on that automatically opens everything in a new tab? Because, like, I'm used to everything auto-opening in new tabs. So, like, I'll click on a link from the front page, and then I'll X out of that and be like, oh, wait, can't go back to Reddit now. Crap. Control-Shift-T. Control-Shift-T backspace.
What you can actually do is you can actually set your browser to open all links that you click in a new tab automatically.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that for, like, Wikipedia.
Yeah, so...
I enjoy a good wiki walk.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that on a specific...
I'm sure there's some, like... If there isn't some way to directly alter that for specific web pages, there's got to be a Chrome extension for just auto-opening Reddit in new tabs. I feel like that's something someone else would have had trouble with by now.
I notice you're a Chrome user and I'm a Firefox user.
I have Firefox as well, I just don't use it.
I have Chrome too, but I don't use it. I use it only on like that very rare occasion where it's
Firefox
like I want
crashes.
No, it's like I want to check like something's not working properly. I want to like double check this. I want to see if it's the browser.
Well,
90% of the time it is.
About 2 weeks ago, I downloaded Firefox just for shits and giggles. I haven't used it yet, but I now no longer will I ever need to use Internet Explorer because occasionally Google Chrome won't run something, so I'll just hop over to the next browser, and IE is no longer my emergency backup, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah,
Do you know the confused Fry meme? Where Fry from Futurama, sort of squinting.
Oh, yes.
I saw one where it's not sure if Internet Explorer is slow or, and then there's no second half of the image.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't use Internet Explorer for anything because there's a couple reasons for this. Internet Explorer tends to doesn't support like anything doesn't support any of the latest standards. So like HTML5 and like all sorts of
we're about to get techie here, audience. Yeah. Feel free to zone out.
Yeah, it's basically like anything that's new and has come out within like the last year. Chances are Internet Explorer probably doesn't support it. And then there's also the issue of, and then the other thing is Internet Explorer tends to have so many security holes in it. I don't know how they do it, but
for a period, Google Chrome was worse than IE in security, and they seem to have totally flopped places since then. Although that was back when I was in like high school, so
yeah, but
they've had half a decade to fix that.
Because it's almost like every month I'm going through my news feed, and it's like every month, Internet Explorer has some kind of new security hole in it, and the thing is they're usually like pretty bad security holes to the point where it's like they give you access.
It gives out your passwords if the people ask nicely.
No, it's like
say the Elvish word for friend.
It's like it gives you like access to like your computer operating system level access, and it's like holy shit. That's like a major security hole. How do they like let that through?
Yeah.
And it seems like there's like something like that coming out like every month with them. So I don't know. I don't tend to, and I don't know. I like the functionality of Firefox too, because Firefox allows me to have like a lot, and I think IE has this too, where you can have add-ons. But I like how Firefox and Chrome allow you to have add-ons and extensions that like let you do things.
I like Chrome extensions because they're really quite intuitive. You just go to the
you just click. I want this, 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 and this, and you click.
And then you've got in the upper right-hand corner for on and off immediately.
Yeah, it's nice.
Is there a? I've never looked into this, but the main reason I got Chrome in the first place was for an extension, which is obviously AdBlock.
Yes.
Well, AdBlock Plus. Better.
Now here's all right. Well, here we'll segue again with AdBlock. We'll segue with AdBlock again real quick. Make this like a 2-minute discussion. What do you think about ads?
Are we getting back to this whole piracy debate?
Oh no.
Yes.
We're not discussing it in terms of piracy. Where I'm going with this is like,
if something is ad supported and you watch it with AdBlock, you're basically not paying for it.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here's the direction that I was going with it. The reason I don't have a problem with ads. If you want to throw in like a quick like ad on like the side of the website, or you want to like have like, you know, a 10-15 second ad like, you know, halfway through the TV show where like the, you know, normal ads would be.
Oh god, I hate interruptive ads, that especially before YouTube video.
Oh, well, yeah, it's like,
or in the middle
or
of one.
before one, or well, you will use the example of like the before
sidebar and banner ads I don't mind as much.
Yeah, and then okay, so like the interruptive ad before the YouTube video, I don't mind so much if they're under 15
if it gets in the way of the experience.
Yeah, and usually, chances are, ads have become so much more prevalent and so much more overused lately that I feel like more and more ads are becoming disruptive to the experience, where it's actually off-putting significantly. Like, I'll be in the middle of watching a
Hulu is brought to you by.
Yeah, I'll be in the middle of watching something online, and it's like halfway through, you know, they suddenly cut out to go to like 5 minutes worth of commercials, and it's like, Jesus, this is so disruptive.
Yeah.
I'll usually just wind up, in which case I'll actually just wind up, before ad block that is, I'll just mute it and go off and do something else and come back 5 minutes later.
What I hate is
I don't even look at, when the thing
I think
is,
Hulu does this, where if the video, it'll cut to ads, and then it comes back, and if the video hasn't loaded, it'll play another ad while the video loads.
Yes, that's happened to me too, where it's like it'll just play a second ad. It's like, sorry, your video is taking too long. We'll play a second ad in the meantime. But
well, it's not in theory a bad idea to play ads while the video's loading, because you won't be watching it anyway.
But
the ad
takes up more
processing power.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But anyways, we should thought train, get back on track.
No. Too late.
Too late. But no, it's
we were talking about Reddit. I don't know how we got onto Hulu with ad block.
But
well, I know exactly how.
But the point is, there's actually with ads, it's like a bell curve with ads, where it's like, you know, the effectiveness of an ad is a bell curve. It's like, if it's a really short ad, it's probably not very effective, because, you know, you're flashing it at the person, and it's probably not going to stick with them. So a very short ad is probably not necessarily going to be very effective.
But a very long ad you just drown out.
Because, for example, like the YouTube video ads that are before YouTube video that have like the 5-second clicker button.
I love the ones with the 5-second clicker that are movie trailers, so by the time it's like, this film is rated at NC-17 by the MPAA, like, you can literally skip the entire trailer.
Because the thing is, I don't remember any of those ads, because A, you know, it's so quick, and B, I'm like just sitting there, I'm staring at that 5-second ticker mark. So the thing is, it's a bell curve. So a really short ad tends to not be very effective. Now, as you start to get longer, you start to kind of gain more of the user's attention, and the value of the ad goes up. However, once you go over, and I say about 15 seconds is the max, once you go over 15 seconds in an ad, you start to go back down in effectiveness, because you begin to now lose the person themselves, because now they're like, okay, come on, let's move on, blah
I
blah
have
blah.
been known to
And
listen
so
to.
it makes like a nice bell curve
Yeah.
where it's like between like 5 and 15 seconds for the effectiveness of an ad is good. So if you want to be effective and get the most bang for your buck, an advertiser should go for between like 5 and 15 seconds. And if they go over that, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. So like those 3 minute commercial breaks in the middle of like a video where it's like we're gonna just show you a 1 minute ad here. It's like you, yep, you're just wasting your money because I'm gonna close out, go do something else for 2 minutes, and come back.
Well,
I'm not even gonna pay attention to your ad. It's not even open.
I have been known to listen to the radio on occasion, by which I mean pretty
Every day.
Yeah. However, besides that, basically everything I do is on the internet and through ad block, so I encounter very few obtrusive ads. So the only ones I get are the real life ones like billboards and
Yeah.
people handing out flyers on street corners. The real life version of the pop up ad.
Yeah. It's I hate.
Canvassers.
No, I hate
Stop breathing
hate
heavily into my mic.
billboard ads.
Really?
Like, yes. Like, I'm.
What else do you do when you're driving?
Well, no, it's just like. I'm like. It's like, I don't know, I'm driving. It's like, I'm driving through I'm driving through somewhere and I'm like enjoying like the nice majestic.
Oh, and it breaks up the scenery.
I'm enjoying the nice majestic scenery of like the woods and the
I'm
mountains.
thinking the billboard
and
ads off I-95 when your other scenery options are like McDonald's.
Yeah, those aren't as bad, but those aren't as bad. But if I'm like driving through like a rural area and there's just like this billboard that sits in like the middle of my view, it's like, so no matter which way I turn in that direction, I see the billboard, and it's like, God, you've just like ruined and I can't get away from it.
I'm never buying Progressive insurance again.
I know, it's like you just completely ruined like nature. Well, I mean, I'm being a bit over dramatic about it, but it's like,
No, you're not.
You've just like you've just destroyed my like your pop-up ad has come up in real life in my face, and I can't get rid of it.
Well,
So
that's what drones with missiles are for.
yeah, I'm
I
like
always keep the RC for one of those in the glove box, don't you?
I've actually
Ah,
oh
I closed out of your ad.
oh no, what about this one? When there's billboard after billboard after billboard, like separated by like 50 feet, and
Well,
there's
then you've just
lines of tens of them, and it's just
Well,
like,
you've
hey,
got a
yeah.
combo opportunity there.
I know. I've actually thought about it before, and it's like I would pay.
Controlled demolition.
No, it's like I would be willing to pay someone to just like take like a semi and just go ram through that line of billboards.
Okay, getting back to
anyways,
Reddit now.
But yeah, so anyways,
You know what doesn't have ads? Reddit.
That one.
When you have ad block.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh wait, I actually just realized I've never been on Reddit like because I just started on Reddit like a few months ago really. I've never actually been on Reddit on anything other than like Firefox with my ad block. So
Reddit with ads is like one banner at the top and I think another one on the right. It's not bad.
yes, so that's really not bad, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I prefer not to see them, which is why I use ad block. But
It's like, yeah, I prefer not to see them, but they're not overly obtrusive. They're just like there, and I can. I'm like, oh, okay.
I've never gotten spam email from Reddit, except the Reddit Secret Santa stuff is starting to feel like spam. By the way, I've signed up for Reddit Secret Santa.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point with Reddit that you wanted to bring up. That was
that was one of the things that we wanted to get to, and I feel like we've detracted enough from Reddit and just being angry at billboards that we should go back to talking about something productive, because I don't think anyone supports billboards.
Yeah, I think that's like a universal like thing there.
You know what else I really love? Mosquito bites. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here. But,
anyways, so
Reddit Secret Santa.
Secret Santa. Go on.
It's gonna be December 1st soon enough, so I should be getting my connection then. But I'm new to Reddit, and I've been a Redditor for a couple months now. It's like, I'm going to do Secret Santa, see what happens. And it should be fun and interesting, I would hope. I mean, I've talked to people who have done it in the past, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's awesome. I'm going to get a llama in the mail. From Bradford.
You almost made I almost had coffee come out of my nose on that one.
And it's going to be a camel, and it's just going to be like, enjoy the llama.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's like a very obscure inside joke.
No, it's like I'm just
getting a llama in the mail.
No, I'm just picturing you get a knock on your door and there's like a big wooden crate,
I was going to say a big wooden horse. I'm like, what, a Trojan llama?
No, I was going to say a big wooden crate sitting on your porch that has like this spray paint thing on the side that says live animals, up.
I was about to go, bam! I'm like, wait, what noise does a llama make?
Yeah, the spitty noise.
It's through the little hole in the crate. Can I re-gift this?
The llama. No, it's like the llama is like the fruitcake gift of Reddit.
Don't know what to send someone that you actually hate? Get them a llama. That's really a white elephant right there, isn't it? Like a fruitcake you can at least throw out. A llama you have to figure out what to do with first.
Yeah, it's like I'll shave it. It's like I'll shave it this one time for its fur and sell that, and then I'll just shoot it.
I think you let it run wild in Chester and just see what happens.
It's gonna
see the wild llamas of Chester.
It's gonna get shot.
It's like the Chester squirrels.
The thing is, if you let it loose in Chester, it's gonna get shot anyways. So
I don't know about that. I mean, we have a cat that lives outside of Howell Hall.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I kind of want to make one of those little cooler igloos for it with the warming packs in there because I feel bad for that cat.
So yeah,
I can't let it inside, but
yeah. So now everyone knows where we are.
But
at
Widener.
Yeah.
Everyone already knows I'm at Widener.
All your friends who watch know you're at Widener. But what about the new people that we get?
I've said on previous YouTube videos of mine that I'm at Widener.
Okay.
Besides, there are pictures of me at Widener. Remember, my Facebook's hooked up to my Google Plus. It's hooked up to my YouTube. It's really not hard to find it out, and they know you're my roommate.
Yeah. So, anyways, so you can probably automatically figure out that we're
But if you'd like to help me with the cat situation,
but yes, I do. I have actually thought about that. Where it's I feel bad for all these cats.
I think it's just the one.
Well, no, I've seen or
it's a bunch of cats that all look like the same cat.
There are definitely multiple cats around, but there are two or maybe three that tend to hang out in this specific area that you see routinely, and it's I feel bad for those three.
Oh, there is the black and gray one that just hangs out directly in front of the door. You know that?
Yeah,
the Mancoon.
I've actually walked up to the door on it was actually
the cat didn't.
It was a few days ago when it was extremely cold, where it was down to 20.
Oh,
and
poor thing.
I know, and I was walking up to the door at night.
You want to come in and catch all the mice
and
in
I
here?
suddenly noticed the cat run out from behind the trash can by the door, and it's I see it run off, and I'm oh no, come back, I'll let you in.
When I came in yesterday, the cat didn't notice I was there until it turned around, and I was a foot behind, and I was whoa, where did you come from, man? Snuck up on me. Shouldn't do that, man.
Yeah.
The cat's a little twitchy.
But yeah, it's I was on that 20-degree night, I was tempted to be stay there and I'll open the door and you run in behind me, making it look like I didn't notice you ran in.
Give me a kitty.
Yeah,
come in and catch all the mice in the room.
It's I'll open the door and throw the door open so it stays open a little bit longer than usual, and you run in making it look like I didn't notice.
Just put a door stopper in.
Yeah. But anyways.
Leave a little bit of cat food on the inside.
But yeah, so it's yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah, that's why I want to make the styrofoam cooler with the heating elements in it.
Yeah, the little...
Just post the little cat cat warming shelter. Please do not move.
But anyways, so yeah.
Here's my Christmas gift for the cat. despite the fact that I'm a non-practicing agnostic who also celebrates Hanukkah. Man, I don't even know what I am anymore. This is why I don't use labels.
But, yeah. Speaking of, yeah, Christmas...
Coming from the guy who... I don't use labels, coming from the guy who labeled an egg carton computer equipment.
But speaking of which, so yeah, I guess speaking of, like, Christmas time holidays...
Nope, we're not I refuse to discuss Christmas any farther until it's at least December.
That was my point that I was going to bring up. What's
Okay.
your opinion on, like, when it's okay to, like, discuss Christmas?
Is it Thanksgiving yet? No? Then shut up.
That's my feeling. It's like, I was walking by, have you ever actually, like, looked in, like, the front window in Freedom Hall? I actually see...
Freedom's the one that doesn't have the lions in front of it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Founders. See,
Yes,
I got
they have
this
the
screwed
tree.
up. Founders has the lions.
Founders has the tree inside, as well as like the Kwanzaa candles and a menorah.
But yes, but no, it's like it was.
Or at least they did one time.
No, they do have it. It was like a week ago. It was like November 11th, and I saw the Christmas tree up there, and
Oh
I'm
dear
like,
God!
Jesus Christ, it's way.
It's not even Advent yet, man.
I know, it's like Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. Of all the holidays, Christmas is my favorite.
I like Halloween.
I love Christmas time. I love the whole Christmas season. I love, like, the lights.
I
and
like
the trees
Christmas,
and, like,
but I hate everything about Christmas.
But, no, so, I mean, like, I really
Christmas would
do
be
love
great if
Christmas.
it was literally just December 24th and 25th. As it stands, it has sort of stolen all of December, which is what I don't like.
But, yeah, but the point being, like, I really do love Christmas. And I love the whole season, and I really do like it. And for someone
Visiting
who loves...
family, eating a stuffed goose,
and it's
live.
Of all... So, for someone... So, even me being someone who is such diehard Christmas, even I say that, like, November 11th is a little too early to be having the Christmas tree up.
November 11th is Armistice Day, man. Show some respect.
So it's like, really, come on. So yeah, my serious opinion is that, like, really, like, Thanksgiving, that's seriously not before that. Because before that is just, like, you're trying way too hard.
Well, I think our next podcast is coming out on December 1st, so we can actually discuss Christmas then. The statute of limitations will be, will have rolled over, so
But
I think that's as good place as any to call it today, because we're getting up on our hour mark. So, credits. The show has been, well, the bits are written by myself. It's hosted by myself and my roommate, Eric. This Week in Science provided by iflscience.com, and our heating fuel supplier is Amanda Livering Coal. Thanks, and have a nice day.